Hello, and welcome to week 2 of MMC1009. So I hope you're all having a good first week UF Online, trying to get your classes set and what you're going to be working on. And I hope you had a chance to read through the syllabus and the course schedule of this class. And that you've gotten some time to be familiar with Canvas and how to go through navigating the site, turning in projects, and seeing those discussion boards. You'll notice there's a first assignment for this week, which is just to take a class survey. This is so we get to know a little bit more about you, so I can start to tailor little parts of this class a little bit more to your interests. Another thing I wanted to mention that most assignments are going to be due on Mondays. So if you see that there is like a Twitter assignment or to go and turn in a paper or other work, those are almost always going to be due on Monday unless specified. Discussion boards are almost always going to be due on Wednesdays. The purpose of this is sometimes you'll actually have to respond and reply on the discussion boards, so we want those done midweek to get people time to do that, maybe before the end of the week or if there's an additional assignment next week. And the module quizzes will always be on Fridays. You'll look at the quizzes too once you get to those first ones, and you'll actually have a set amount of time to take the quiz. There are only 10 multiple choice questions and you have about 30 minutes to do it and only one chance to do it. So make sure that you're prepared and you're ready to go when you take those quizzes. So, in this module I want to talk a little bit about the history of our college and the University of Florida. Our college actually dates back to 1925. We used to actually be in a language arts building, kind of in a basement, very dimly lit. If you look on the college's website, it paints a pretty good depiction. But I want to talk a little bit about where we are today coming from then. We are one of the largest College of Journalism and Communications in the country, and we also were one of the first to introduce computers into our college back in the early 90s. The big thing about our college is we've always pushed technology first. When a lot of other journalism schools weren't teaching typing because they thought that was more of a trade, we thought that that was very important to integrate technology with the fundamentals in our curriculum. Fast forward today, we've got media properties in our building. We've got 4 radio stations, 2 TV stations, a phenomenal website, wuft.org, and the WFT News platform really sets the standard for students that are in the building and even outside of the building to get involved and work in those properties. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later on in this course. Another thing I want to talk about was kind of the programs, and specifically your program that you're working on. If you look at the Media and Society course schedule, you basically have 29 hours of core curriculum that you have to take. This includes this course, Writing for Professional Communicators, Mass Comm Ethics, Sight, Sound, and Motion, which is a course that basically goes over everything design and visual. You'll do a little bit of photography, a little bit of video, a little bit of design, kind of wrapping up how you can tell a story through images. You go through Law of Mass Comm, a very good course that's going to teach you what your rights are, what's the difference between libel, what's the difference between slander. You'll go through Writing through Electronic Media, which will go into a little bit about Twitter, a little bit about getting blogs ready, how newspapers have changed from print format to now the never-ending fire hose that is the internet. You go through TV and American Society, Intro to Telecom. All of these courses are really designed to help you have a well-rounded base of where is technology and media and communications today. You'll also have a Media and Society block where you can take some courses in the history of journalism, sports and society, media and politics, a little bit more tailored to your interests, and then obviously electives too. And this is what I really want to key in on the electives for this. This course is to help you decide what electives you want to take and what careers you are interested in. So as you're going through the University of Florida's website, I want you to look at a few things, especially on our college's website. Look at the Path Center. Path is our advising here in the building, but is also available to you as a UF Online student. In this module too, you can see we'll put contact info, both email and phone, where you can call them for advising help. Path is a phenomenal center that has both academic advising, scholarship advising, and career advising, and all of that contact information will be on this module's page. So if at any point you have a question about what course you should take, or what scholarship you might be eligible for, or even a career you might be interested in, they're there to help you via Skype, via email, via phone. They can definitely be there to assist you throughout your time with UF Online. The other thing I want you to be familiar with on the college's website is going through the faculty and staff listings. All of those faculty and staff members are open to you to answer any questions you might have as you go through this program. So if you find that you're really interested in journalism, you might want to send Professor Mike Foley an email and ask him about his time at the St. Petersburg Times and maybe some tips and questions and careers questions that you might have. He'll actually be a guest lecturer later on in this course. Or if you're really interested in advertising, go through the advertising department's website and send an email. Pick up the phone. This class is to encourage you to really decide what your career wants to be, and we can't be more excited about that. You'll also hear from Dean Diane McFarland in the video, with depending on what order you watch this in. You might have already heard an introduction from her. And as you go through the college's website, read up a little bit more on the history of our college. It's very exciting to see where we've come from and where we are today. There's also one book that you guys will have for this course, and we're really excited about that. And this book is How to Write Short by Roy Peter Clark. This book basically goes through a number of different examples of how you can write in short chunks. It's got exercises for you, but most importantly, it's how you can tell a story in a brief way but still get a complete story across. We feel like this book is definitely universal across any major that our college offers and in UF Online, because really communicating a story online is about brevity. It's about getting that message across as clean and as simple and as concise as possible. And even when you read some of those long-form stories, I mean, if you guys have been to Sports Illustrated's website and read their long-form section, or you might have been on the New York Times Snowfall is a great example, where it's got their long-form stories, that long parallax scrolling goes through. It's still very concise. It gets to the point. Every single section of those stories lets you know really quickly why you need to read that next paragraph. And that's really what this class and our college is all about, is storytelling and how you can tell your story, whether it's on behalf of another company, whether it's on behalf of an organization, whether it's on behalf of, as a journalist, on behalf of someone else, and no matter the medium. So whether that's in stills, in pictures, in video, in tweets, in articles, is really what we want you guys to focus on. So as you're going through week one, make sure you take that class survey. Make sure you're familiar with what our college offers in the Path department, with career services, with advising. Make sure you go through those department websites and start to really form an idea of what you might be interested in. I got to challenge you guys from this week to next week, while we're still in the About the UF phase, to think about your career. Think about what interests you as a person. Do you really like to know information before everybody else? You might be looking into journalism. You might want to go and dig a little bit more, do a little bit more investigative work, figuring out why something is the way that is. If you're constantly asking yourself, why is that, journalism might be the field for you. If you really want to work with companies and tell their stories and do corporate communications, public relations might be the answer. If you really enjoy selling people things, really understanding why people buy the way they buy, advertising is definitely there. And of course, if you love telling a story through video, telecommunications is there also. All of these are degrees we offer here on campus, but with this Media and Society program online, you get a taste of, and you have the ability both to contact these professors, to do more, to look into internships, and that's really what we want you to plan. So in those first couple weeks, really hone in and start to think about, what am I interested in? What makes me tick? What's something that I would be thrilled to get up every single day and devote a lot of time towards? Because while we love our family and our friends and our downtime, at the end of the day, work is really what you spend the most time with, and we want to make sure that you're as happy as possible, and we can prepare you for that as much as possible as you go through this program. So on this week's site, you'll see we'll have a link to all of the courses offered, which you should already be familiar with. You should be familiar with the syllabus and the course schedule. Definitely go through there and start to plan out some of your electives. Contact maybe some of those professors ahead of time. The UF registrar actually shows all of those professors and who's teaching each of those courses, and go through the college website and see a little bit more about some of the professors we have in the college, and some of our professors that actually do teach abroad, just like you guys are taking these courses. As we go into next week, we'll have a module quiz. That module quiz will basically cover a little bit about the history of the college, a little bit about what each major offers. You'll see some links on these pages which have some basic definitions of what each of these fields of studies are. Make sure you familiarize yourself with those. Next week, we'll cover a little bit more about what we offer as far as current news with MyCJC. And we'll also talk about the basic structure of the college and how you'll go through this program. You'll notice the first couple weeks of this class are pretty light. It's a pretty simple course. It's a 1-credit course. but it does start to pick up later on in the class. That big assignment that you guys will be working on as you read through the syllabus is finding a professional in the field that you're interested in and shadowing them. So start to have a pretty early idea of what fields you might be interested in, whether you want to shadow a reporter for a day at a local news organization or whether you want to work in corporate communications and maybe shadow a couple of meetings with some public relations specialists. Really think about what makes you tick and what person you might want to shadow for a day, because ultimately that paper, that 30-point paper of your grade, is going to be your experiences, what you learned from it, and then going forward. I hope you're having a great start so far. These lectures are going to be pretty short. A lot of times there'll be supplemental material. There'll be other videos, other examples, other readings, a lot of news articles about the industry. We really want to make sure that this course is current. It's going to be updated every single semester. So all of these videos that are pre-recorded are wonderful, but we ultimately want to make sure that if we see an article that's really up to date, it's going to be changed instantly. And also, the surveys that you do this week are going to influence what some of that content in these future modules might hold. We hope you're having a great time. If there are any questions, please feel free to send me an email. You can also send me smoke signals. No, you can't actually do that before. But send me an email. My office line is also there too. Feel free to pick up the phone. I'd be happy to chat if you have any questions. And let me know if there's anything else I can do to make this a better experience. Have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you guys soon.